Three completely isolated civilizations with zero contact between them, separated by thousands of years, unforgiving deserts, and entire oceans, all independently discovered the exact same $15 solution for the exact same problem. That is not coincidence. That is not folklore. That is physics, patiently waiting to be understood. There is a naturally occurring microscopic mineral that violently and permanently destroys crawling insect populations at the structural level. Not a localized reduction. Not a temporary seasonal deterrent. Total, unrecoverable colony collapse at a cost of pennies per application, achieving a 100% mortality rate against species that have survived every synthetic neurotoxin humanity has ever invented. It is completely harmless to humans and pets when ingested. Yet, it is an inescapable death sentence for anything with an exoskeleton. Understand what this is not. This is not a chemical repellent that forces pests into the next room. It is not a neurological poison that insects will eventually mutate to resist. It is not a proprietary bait matrix that degrades the moment it touches the ambient air of your kitchen. It is a mechanical assassin. It works through the unforgiving laws of physical geometry, entirely bypassing the biological immunities that modern pests have developed against commercial sprays. Your ancestors used this. They protected their grain, their homes, and their cities with it. They did not stop using it because it failed. They stopped because it worked too well. And in a modern economy built on recurring revenue, a permanent solution is a financial catastrophe. To understand the magnitude of what was taken from you, you have to look at the civilizations that survived without the chemical industry. In 2500 BCE, the architects of the Indus Valley civilization built the great granaries of Harappa. To protect thousands of tons of wheat from invasive weevils and beetles in a relentlessly humid climate, they did not rely on prayers. They mined a highly specific, chalky white earth from dried riverbeds and milled it into an impossibly fine powder. They coated their grain stores in it. The grain remained untouched for decades. The insects that entered the silos simply withered and died within 48 hours. 3,000 miles away, and roughly 3 millennia later, the Nabateans carved the rose-red city of Petra out of the desert rock. They were the masters of trade routes, transporting delicate spices and textiles. To keep scorpions, roaches, and parasitic mites out of their subterranean vaults, Nabatean merchants lined their entryways with a pale, fossilized dust scraped from ancient dried seabeds. They didn't know the molecular science. They only knew the observable consequence. Anything with an exoskeleton that walked across that dust did not survive the night. Jump forward to 1639. In the twilight of the Ming Dynasty, the legendary agricultural minister and scientist Shu Guangqi published his life's work, the Nongzhong Tuang Shu, the complete treatise on agriculture. Faced with catastrophic crop losses and grain storage infestations, Shu documented the precise application of fossilized white earth. He noted that when this specific mineral powder was applied to the foundations of storehouses, the crawling insects were not poisoned. They were drained of their vital fluids. Every civilization with access to these ancient dried marine beds and a mandate to survive arrived at the same conclusion independently. It was not until the 20th century that modern science finally caught up to ancient survival. In 1971, Dr. Walter Ebeling, a pioneering entomologist at UCLA, published a landmark paper in the Journal of Economic Entomology. He was studying the rapid, terrifying rate at which German cockroaches were developing genetic resistance to commercial organophosphate pesticides. The chemical industry was panicking. Their flagship poisons were becoming useless. Ebeling tested a non-chemical alternative, a naturally occurring sedimentary rock milled into a fine powder. The substance is diatomaceous earth, specifically food-grade diatomaceous earth. It is composed entirely of the fossilized remains of diatoms, single-celled aquatic microalgae that lived millions of years ago. When you buy this powder, it looks like soft baking flour, but human eyes are blind to the reality of the microscopic battlefield. Under an electron microscope, diatomaceous earth is a landscape of shattered glass. It is composed of microscopic, jagged silica cylinders with razor-sharp edges. To understand why this is a flawless killing mechanism, you must understand the armor of your enemy. Every insect, from the bedbug to the cockroach to the silverfish, survives in dry environments because their exoskeleton is wrapped in a microscopic waxy lipid layer. This epicuticle acts as a moisture seal. It keeps their internal water from evaporating. When an insect walks across a microscopic dusting of diatomaceous earth, the razor-sharp silica shards physically lacerate that waxy lipid layer. But it doesn't just cut. Silica is one of the most highly porous, hyperabsorbent materials on Earth. It acts as a microscopic sponge. The shards embed themselves into the insect's joints, physically absorbing the lipid layer, while the lacerations allow the insect's internal moisture to aggressively evaporate into the air. The mechanism is pure, unavoidable physics. The insect is subjected to catastrophic, rapid desiccation. It literally dries to death from the outside in. Ebling's 1971 study quantified the reality, while roaches developed total immunity to synthetic poisons in just 5 generations. Mortality remained at an absolute 100% when exposed to silica dust like diatomaceous earth. You cannot mutate an immunity to broken glass. An insect can no more develop a biological resistance to diatomaceous earth than a human can develop a biological resistance to being thrown into a wood chipper. The United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, Agricultural Research Service, has repeatedly validated these mechanics. NASA has utilized the pure filtration geometry of diatoms. The military has evaluated desiccating dust for barracks protection. The science is undisputed. The lethality is absolute. So why is your garage full of $25 plastic spray bottles of synthetic neurotoxins that barely work? Follow the money. That is always the answer. The global pest control industry generated $22.6 billion in revenue last year. That is $22.6 billion flowing from panicked homeowners and desperate property managers into the hands of chemical conglomerates and franchised extermination fleets. You cannot patent diatomaceous earth because it is naturally occurring. It is literal dirt. It has been in the public domain since the Earth's oceans receded. A corporation cannot monopolize the fossilized remains of ancient algae. If they cannot patent it, they cannot put a 4,000% markup on it. Worse, diatomaceous earth fundamentally destroys the economic engine of the modern pest control industry, the recurring revenue model. A chemical spray degrades in 30 to 60 days. Sunlight breaks it down. Moisture washes it away. Air oxidizes it. That is not a flaw in the chemical. That is a brilliant, deliberate feature. It ensures that the exterminator must return. It is a subscription model disguised as a service. Diatomaceous earth, being a rock, does not degrade. It does not evaporate. It has already been dead for 30 million years. It cannot expire. If you dust the inner wall voids of a home with it, that wall void remains violently lethal to insects for 20, 30, or 50 years, so long as it remains dry. Permanent solutions destroy quarterly earnings. So the industry utilized the ultimate suppression architecture, regulatory capture and marketing burial. They flooded the consumer market with proprietary baiting systems and heavy liquid knockdowns. They lobbied to have synthetic chemical treatments standardized in housing codes and rental agreements. They simply removed the concept of mechanical desiccation from the public vocabulary. But here is the ultimate professional betrayal. The professional who charges you $400 for an extermination visit knows exactly what you are reading today. When you hire a high-end commercial exterminator for a severe infestation, pay very close attention to what they do before they spray the baseboards. The best of them will drill tiny holes into your drywall, right between the studs. They will take a bulb duster and puff a fine white powder into the dark voids of your home. They use desiccating dusts, the very mechanism of diatomaceous earth, to achieve the actual, permanent kill inside the walls. Then, they spray the cheap, temporary, smelly liquid on the outside baseboards. Why? Because the liquid spray is what you smell. It is what you see. It is the theatrical performance that justifies the $400 invoice. If they told you to buy a $15 bag of diatomaceous earth and an $8 bulb duster yourself, their entire business model collapses overnight. They are not going to tell you. The mechanisms they use to siphon your wealth are vast, but they are fragile. They rely entirely on your lack of structural knowledge. When you are ready to stop treating symptoms and start permanently severing the revenue streams of these industries, look to the remaining guides inside the vault. The $8 molecular sledgehammer, how boric acid bankrupted the termite monopoly, the copper ion protocol, the pre-industrial cure for root rot they banned in 1982, the mycelial network, how foragers eliminate lawn disease without synthetic nitrates, the zinc oxide anomaly, reclaiming wood preservation from the corporate mills, the lactic acid engine, the fermented truth about soil restoration. The links are in the description, but stay here. Because the science behind applying this safely is about to make the pest control industry very, very uncomfortable. I do not sell you fantasies, and I do not deal in miracles. This is physics, and physics has strict operational parameters. If you violate them, this fails. First, there is a critical, non-negotiable safety warning regarding your lungs. You must only ever purchase food-grade diatomaceous earth. It is composed of uncalcined, amorphous silica. It is safe enough that the FDA permits it as an anti-caking agent in the grain you eat. You must never use pool-grade or filter-grade diatomaceous earth for pest control. Pool-grade DE is chemically treated and superheated, calcined, which transforms it into crystalline silica. Crystalline silica is a severe respiratory hazard. Breathing it can cause silicosis, an irreversible scarring of the lungs. The extermination industry frequently points to the dangers of crystalline silica to frighten you away from the entirely safe food-grade version. Know the difference. Know the difference. Even with the safe food-grade version, you should wear a standard N95 dust mask during application, simply to avoid irritating your mucous membranes while the dust settles. Second, diatomaceous earth is entirely useless when wet. The moment the microscopic silica sponges fill with water, they cannot absorb the lipid layer of an insect. If you apply it in a damp basement or it rains on your garden application, it ceases to be a weapon. It only regains its lethality after it completely dries out again. Third, it is not instantaneous. If you spray a roach with a synthetic neurotoxin, it twitches and dies in 3 minutes. That is satisfying for the human ego, but it does not kill the nest. When a roach walks through diatomaceous earth, it will survive for another 48 to 72 hours. It will carry the dust back deep into the colony, rubbing against hundreds of other roaches, lacerating their armor as well. It is slow, but it is a total structural collapse. Finally, if you have active termites destroying the load-bearing wood of your home, you need professional intervention. Termites live entirely inside the wood and soil. They will never walk across a surface dusting of DE. To deploy this correctly, you must stop thinking like a homeowner with a spray bottle and start thinking like a siege engineer. You are establishing a microscopic perimeter that the enemy must cross to reach food and water. Step 1. The procurement. Go to any hardware store, agricultural feed store, or online retailer. Buy a 10-pound bag of 100% food-grade diatomaceous earth. It will cost between $15 and $25. Buy a bellows hand duster or a bulb duster with a long, thin brass nozzle. Step 2. The environmental prep. Identify the transit lines. Insects run along the edges of baseboards, beneath refrigerators, under the oven, behind the dishwasher, and under the sinks. Ensure these areas are completely dry. Sweep up any competing dust or debris. Step 3. The application, hard surfaces. Load the duster. Put on your mask. The biggest mistake amateurs make is creating thick white piles of the powder. Insects are not stupid. They will walk around a mountain of white dirt. You want a barely visible, ghostly mist. Puff the duster lightly along the cracks where the baseboard meets the floor. Puff it directly under the refrigerator motor where the heat attracts roaches. Puff it into the gap between your kitchen cabinets and the wall. Step 4. The void injection, the professional move. Remove the plastic faceplates from your electrical outlets and light switches. Ensure the power is off. Insert the brass tip of the duster into the gap between the electrical box and the drywall. Give it 3 hard puffs. You have just coated the inside of your wall voids, the superhighways of the insect world, with millions of microscopic razor blades. Put the faceplate back on. That wall is now lethal for decades. Step 5. The carpet variation for fleas and bedbugs. If dealing with fleas in carpet, use a flour sifter to sprinkle a very light, even coating over the carpet. Take a stiff push broom and aggressively brush the powder deep into the carpet fibers, down to the backing where the larvae live. Leave it for 48 hours. Then vacuum it up using a shop vac with a HEPA filter. Standard household vacuums can clog from fine dust. Step 6. The observation. Wait. Do not clean the dusted perimeters. Over the next week, you will see insects walking slower than usual. You will see them out during the day, desperate and dehydrated. By day 10, you will only see husks. Look at the reality of Marcus Thorne. Marcus manages an 80-unit apartment complex in the humid sprawl of Chicago, Illinois. For 6 years, he paid a commercial pest control firm $14,000 annually for monthly chemical sprays to fight a losing war against German cockroaches. The roaches always returned, immune and stronger. Last year, Marcus canceled the contract. He bought 80 pounds of food-grade diatomaceous earth and 5 bulb dusters for a total cost of only $5. His maintenance team spent 1 week removing outlet covers, dusting the wall voids, and misting the spaces beneath the appliances in every unit. Within 3 weeks, the cockroach population dropped by 95%. Within 2 months, it was statistically zero. A $14,000 annual corporate subscription was permanently eradicated by only $5 worth of ancient dirt and basic physics. The architects of Harappa knew it. Dr. Silbrun, Ebeling, and the USDA confirmed it. The $22 billion chemical industry spent millions making sure you never understood it. They took a flawless, unpatentable law of microscopic physics, buried it beneath an avalanche of proprietary marketing, and sold you back a weak, temporary chemical copy at an infinite markup. But the vault is open now. You hold the ultimate mechanism of pest destruction in your hands, and it costs less than a cup of coffee. Do not let them bury this again. Every time you share this video, every time you send this to a homeowner drowning in pest control bills, you put a crack on the wall they spent billions building, around knowledge that was never theirs to lock away. Every subscription to this channel keeps us digging exactly where they do not want us to look. The next vault opens soon, and what the commercial lawn care industry buried inside that one to keep your soil artificially addicted to their synthetic fertilizers is even heavier than what you heard today. Stay vigilant.